Hello, salam, shalom, namaste, sasrikal, aloha, hola, bonjour, and ciao. I'm so excited today to have Laurent Coste. Did I say your name right, Laurent?
Yeah, it's perfect, Samia. Thank you.
Yay, woohoo. I was just a little unsure about the last name. But Laurent is a transformation and perspective coach. And I'm so excited that we're going to get to hear from him today. So Laurent, will you please jump in and just tell us more about what you do and who you are?
Thank you very much, Samia. Thank you very much for having me here. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, wherever you are. So as I said, first of all, thank you very much for having me here in your podcast. It's a great opportunity, a great pleasure to have a chat with you one more time. Um, as you can notice, yes, I have an accent and I'm French. Before you ask any question, yes, I'm French. So I just hope that all of you here will be able to understand what I'm going to say. Otherwise, I'm deeply sorry. But yeah, I'm trying
I
my best
love
there.
your accent and I understand it perfectly. It's awesome, actually.
Thank you. Thank you. So as you mentioned, yes, I am a transformation and perspective coach. What does that mean? It means that a lot of people want to do something, want, I don't know, want, for example, to um, find love,
Mm,
but they are not able to change and love themselves. Then a lot of people, want to have a perfect body, but they are not ready to change their routine and work every single day to have this perfect body. A lot of people want to have a lot of money, but they are not ready to work to get this money. And what I mean by the transformation is to transform our pattern, our routine, and most of it, our mindset. And
mm,
that is crucial because if we want that something change in our life, the first thing we need to change, it's us. It's the habit that we have for too long. It's the vision that we have
mm.
for too long. It's a perspective that we have for too long and too small. So this is what I do. Yeah.
Uh, it's really, really awesome.
Ah, hello?
That is
Yeah.
so, so awesome. That is really awesome. And I think you just highlighted something really important that if we want to truly change our lives, then you gave some examples of how we don't act in the ways that we want to change our life, but also we don't think in the ways that will change our life. So we have to change ourselves and actually become more consistent in the way that we act and the way that we think, the perspective that we have, and make that consistent to what we actually want. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's very, very true because I met many people that would like to reach something,
Mm,
but when I ask them, okay, so let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 that you crazy want it, it's an obsession.
yes.
Where are you in your desire to reach that? And a lot of them are here, 9, 10. Okay, so what are you going to do that? Well, what do you mean? You want to reach that, but if you follow what you are doing now, you will definitely not reach this point.
Mm,
And so you need to change something in your life, in your habit, in your pattern, in your routine, in what you do, in what you think to
yeah.
be able to reach that. So what are you going to do? And then it's, how do we call that? The cricket song? Like nothing, silence. Like, no, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to change. Oh, so you want the world outside to change, but it doesn't work this way. It doesn't
Mm.
work like this. So yeah.
Ah, so it's more like you're having wishful thinking. If you
Mm.
expect the world to change and give you what you want without you changing yourself first.
Yeah, in fact, uh, um, and much more now with the social medias when you see life of people, amazing life of people,
Mm,
uh, say yes, so now I'm earning 5-digit amount, 6-digit amounts, £1 million, $1 billion or whatsoever. Yeah, oh God, they are so lucky. No, it's not luck. It's hard work. It's
mm,
because they wanted to reach that, and then they created a pattern, a momentum, and they've been consistent. And that's the idea. Because, when you see people, for example, the best example, summer, normal summer. So when you know that summer is coming, a lot of people think, ooh, I need to lose this extra weight that I got over winter. Ooh, let's go to the gym. And then they go to the gym one time, two times. And then they look at other people who are really sculptural with a nice body and so on, men and women. And say, oh, yeah, I would love to be like that. But they were not born like this. They didn't get this body one day to another. They were for days and weeks and months to be able to get to be like that. I know that's something that I do since now 2018. I decided that I'm French. I love good wine. I love good food, but I don't want to quit that. So I needed to find a solution to be able to loving my food and drinks, but without being unable to fit in a square, in a screen. So what I decided that every 2 days I will go for a run. Every 2 days. And believe me, I don't really like running. But I do that for a very specific purpose, which is for me to be able to eat and drink whenever I want. And and then I created a pattern. I created a new routine for me to go there. And that's the idea. Know what you want. Know what you want. And if you really want it, create your routine to do that.
mm.
Yeah,
Okay, I have a question.
please.
Because I really value experiencing fun in my life. So when you mentioned that you decided that you would go running, but
Mhm.
you don't really like running, it
Yeah.
makes me wonder like why you chose to go running. Like maybe there could have been a different form of exercise you could do that would have been more fun for you. Like what's the value of fun in the process of creating change in your thinking?
So why? Um, so I decided to go for a run for different reasons. One, I'm not this guy who will go to the gym on my own.
Mm,
I will not have the motivation to do that, and and it will take me time that I don't really want to invest, and I insist on my word because it's not time that I don't have. If we want to do something, we'll find the time to do it. But it's not time that I want to invest to find how to use each machine to be able to create um, uh, a training, a proper training will be efficient for me. When on the other side, for the run, the process is pretty simple. I wear my running shoes and I go. That's it. And then I need to find during this, in general, it's an hour run something good for me. So in general, what I do, I think about my day and how I will organize my day. So I schedule my day. I know all calls that I have for my coaching business, but between the calls, I have a bit of time. So what can I do during this time to be as much efficient as possible? So during my run, because that's the beauty of the brain, it uses two different parts of the brain. Running is like a machine. I just don't think about that. My legs do their work, and then I can work on something else with my head, with my brain. So I organize my day, or I think about this new video that I want to do, or this new, like a new experimentation that I will offer to my Facebook community on Friday. Um, but something like that, all of that, and I use this time for that, or listening to a podcast, or even an audiobook. So I try not to waste my time. So it's not just a run for a run, just to to lose weight, but really to, in the same time, lose weight and think about my day and learn something in the same time. So I don't really like running, but I find it useful. So yeah.
I see what you're saying. So even though your body is doing something in the moment that you don't particularly enjoy, but you keep your mind engaged and thinking about
Yeah,
things that are meaningful for you and important for you. And so you
exactly.
still feel you're making like really good use of your time.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. That's the idea, to be as much efficient with your time as you can.
mhm.
So yeah. Yeah.
Very, very cool. So when we're thinking about creating change in our lives, creating change in our perspective, and you mentioned, as you said, most people find it a really difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
So what is one key that we can use to make this change-making process more easy?
Um, often, if not always, but I will not say always because some people are able to do it, and I salute them for that. But often, um, people want to bring something in their life, and then suddenly there is this little voice coming. It is your subconscious, and your subconscious is just here to protect you. Doesn't want any bad to you. Your little voice just want to protect you. Your little voice prefer to keep you safe in a world that you know already because you know where it's going to be, instead of stretching your comfort zone and maybe be at risk. So what I would say that the best thing to do, and here comes the perspective, it's when you want to do something and this little voice appear, think about all different potential outcome which could come from this decision, and focus on the worst one, the most horrible outcome that can happen. And then focus on this one and find solution. If that happen, what can you do? What can you do to fix it, to make it better, to arrange it, to amend it? What can you do? And then when you find solution for this worst scenario, you have nothing to lose, because all other potential solution or outcome can be only better than this one. Bottom line, you will just do it. And then maybe reach what you want to do, or maybe learn and then amend your method and do it better. So you can always, it's just find what will be the worst case scenario, and then how to solve it, how to make it work. Like that, if you decide to take this decision and you take action, what can you do if that happens? What I mean by that, it's something very important, and it's a pretty simple equation, which is fact plus reaction equal outcome.
Mm,
The fact or situation, you cannot choose them. It's life. Life bring you this kind of thing in your on your journey. But the outcome between you and this fact depend on only one thing: you. Your reaction to this situation will generate the best outcome you can. So how will you react to the situation coming to you? And this will depend on four elements: your belief, your emotion, your attitude, and your thought. That's what I call your beat. And
Mm,
with these four elements, it's like a perfume. We are every single day, all long day, again and again and again, we are impacted by these four elements. It's like a perfume. You mix them and it creates a chemical reaction. But
yes.
bottom line, when your reaction faces the fact, it will create the outcome of this situation. So only by managing your beat, you will be able to get the best outcome that you want from
Mm.
this situation.
Ah, okay, okay. I'm starting to see what what you mean. That's so cool. So I know one of the things that you are really great at is helping people to take control.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
is this part of that process?
Mhm. Definitely, because when you think about it, you cannot. It come to the control model. The control model, it's an association of three circles. So the first one, the small one, it's your circle of control. It's exactly what you control personally. Your thought, your personal decision, what you're gonna wear today, what you're gonna eat today. That's your control. That's your circle of control. Then you go to a bit larger circle, and that's your circle of influence. You cannot control what is in this circle, but you can influence it, like your friends, for example, or decision made by people around you regarding your reaction. It can influence them. And finally, the third circle, the large one, it's your circle of concern. This circle, you have no correlation with it, but everything happening there affects you. I mean by that, for example, pandemic, you have no control about it, but it will affect you. Um, Governmental decision, you have no control about it, but it will affect you. The global warming, it can affect you. All of that. And you cannot control it, but it will affect you. So it's how you will be affected, let's say. But you need to realize that you have no control. So what is really important, first of all, is to understand what you can control and what you can't control. What you can't control are facts, and then the outcome will depend on your reaction of this element. But once again, you cannot control them. So you just have to deal with them as best, in the best way that you can. But then for all elements that you can control, it's your job to make it as you want it to be because it's your decision. Yeah.
That is an absolutely brilliant distinction that you made. I think one of the things that I see and that I know I have also really experienced in my life when it comes to taking control, one of the reasons people can really struggle is because they're trying to control things that they actually cannot control, that are not for them to control.
Yeah.
And so then of course you struggle. You're setting yourself up to fight a losing battle. So I love this distinction that you made between the circle of the different circles. That you have a circle of control, and then there's a circle of influence, and then there's a circle of concern. And so if you're struggling to control something, maybe you should think about this. What circle is this thing actually in? Is it in
Exactly.
the circle of concern or influence? Or is it actually within my circle of control? So this is really important. I'm so glad you shared that.
Yeah, because in
Yeah,
fact, it will create a lot of people want to control something which is part of their circle of concern. As they can't, it creates frustration. And the problem is when this frustration start to reach other areas of their life. Because, for example, you want to change something in your where you work, in your business area, but it's not your decision. And then you will fight for that. But then it's still not your decision. And then you will start to create a frustration. Frustration which will impact your job, your colleague, but you, and as it affected you, it will affect other areas of your life, like your family wise, your personal life, social life, because it's you. Even if your business and your personal life are two different things, they have one thing in common, you. So by creating this frustration in one area, it can bring the frustration to other area, which is like a snowball effect. And then a really big problem.
Oh my gosh, you just highlighted another really, really important lesson. This, that, if you're having frustration, stress, anger, and these kind of other negative experiences in one area of your life, it will spill over into other areas of your life. Ah, that that is such an important insight. I remember this really, the first time I understood this was in the context of when I was going through my journey of healing from the trauma of being a survivor of abuse. And, in at that, when I was actually stuck in the negative emotions that I was struggling with. I didn't understand this, but later on, as I started to come out of them and I was, getting help and support in my healing process, my coach, my teachers, my mentors, to help me to see that, for example, the anger, I think that was the one that um, had the most destructive impact, when like all the anger that I was feeling started to spill out into all of my relationships and everything that I did. And so I was like getting angry at completely innocent people, like my little sister, who loved me and cared about me, and all she wanted was for me to love her back. But like my anger was spilling out at her, even when she had done nothing wrong. And it started to impact not only my relationship with her, but it also made my parents angry because they saw how I was unfairly treating my sister. And so then my relationship with my parents got more strained, and it just snowballs. So
Exactly.
this is such an important insight that you're sharing.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
it's very, very important to realize what is the root of the problem. Sometimes we just think that the problem is something in business, but maybe the root is different, or something in your relationship, but maybe the root is different. Maybe it's coming from another area of your life, something that is good to dig in to be able to know exactly where it's coming from. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
definitely.
can I ask you to give us an example? So you mentioned like if someone's stuck in a bad work environment and they want to change that, but it's not their decision. So in that kind of situation, what can they do that would be helpful and useful to take control or feel more in control of the situation and make things better for themselves?
The idea when you are stuck in this kind of situation is to understand what different options you have. So realize, okay, what do you want to change? And then will the result, the outcome of this will really impact your life? It can create a frustration because you consider that if the company decide to take this direction, it will, they will go to a wall. But bottom line, how will that affect your life? It can be frustrating because you say, come on, guys, don't do that because we know that we're going to go to a wall. After that, if it's your decision, change it. If it's not your decision, then you have a choice. You cannot change the road. You can try to then bring this circle of concern to your circle of influence, maybe, and then try to resonate with the decision maker. But then your decision is always the same. It's like if you do not agree with the decision made by a government, you can still go somewhere else. You can still change your life. It's your life. Your life, you can manage it as you want. And a lot of people don't leave jobs. They prefer to stay in a toxic environment because job can be a toxic environment because they're afraid of the unknown. And that is very important, the unknown. Pretty often we do not act because we don't know how it's going to be outside. But then it come back once again. The brainstorming and exchanging with others is the best way to have many perspectives. That's why a coach is very important because it will help you to get different angles. And, um, and then you will be able to see the different solutions that you would have available. Even some which could be completely ridiculous, but from ridiculous ideas can generate something good and useful for you. So that's the process of the coaching. That's the
Ooh,
idea. Yeah.
yes, that's a cool. That's a cool. You mentioned something about that you could try to bring something that's in your circle of concern to your circle of influence. Um, can you give a tip for how someone can try to do that or what that might look like? An example, like if you try to bring your boss from your circle of concern into your circle of influence, how could you do that?
But it depends literally on what we are talking about in circle of concern and circle of influence. If it's, for example, the pandemic, um, you cannot manage a pandemic except if you want to bring it in your circle of influence. You can become a biologist expert in virus. And then by doing so, you can do some kind of analysis about this or that. And then you will be much closer to what is happening in your circle of concern for you to be an influencer of that. So
Mhm.
it's literally how you can get closer or you can make your circle closer to you. So when, for example, let's say you are a nobody in a big company and then the, uh, the head of the company, which is literally unreachable for you, has a level so high that you can't make some decision and this decision affects your bottom line, but you are totally not, you don't agree with that because it's not forbidden for you to reach them. You need maybe, it will take time. Maybe you will have to talk to a lot of people to be able to reach that. But no one says that it's impossible. Impossible is I am possible.
Love
So
that.
yeah, it's the I can guarantee you one thing that I can guarantee for you and for everyone who are listening to us at the moment. If you don't do it, I can guarantee you it won't happen.
Mm,
That's for sure. If you don't do it, it will not happen.
yeah.
But then if you try, maybe, maybe you will be able to reach it. But if you don't try, I can guarantee you it won't work.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, and I think what you said earlier about thinking about the consequences of your choices, of your actions. So just really take some time and think, are you actually willing to face those consequences? And if you're not willing to face those consequences, then change the decision, make a different decision, do something else. Um, and sometimes that's the best you can do in terms of and actually even the wisest thing that you can do in terms of taking more control and being in more control of your life.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's it's very important. I got this experience few days ago, to be honest,
mm,
and I heard my alarm ring for a run. I must go. So I was like, oh, okay, let's go. And I went. And then during my run, I was thinking, God, seriously, when you do this kind of run and you do that on a regular basis, you are always have, I still have it, this little voice coming, yeah, but come on, you can stay a bit longer in your bed, it's warm. And once again, as you mentioned, it's just a question of choice. Yes, I can choose, okay, today, you know what, I'm not going to go for a run. Fine. What will happen? I will not leave my bed and my body will change one day to another. No. But what is important to keep in mind, it's when you break the momentum. To a lot of my clients, I told them, you know what? If you decide that today will be a no day, okay, fine. If you decide that today and tomorrow will be a no day, no, I will not do that. No, I just want to lay down, go on a sofa and watch a TV. Yeah, it's your choice. But to give this kind of decision a certain weight, you need to give it a time space, which means that, okay, you know what? I decide that today and tomorrow, I will do nothing that lay down on the sofa, eating dodgy food, and that's it. For 2 days, for 48 hours, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to love it. But then, after these 48 hours, I'm going to do this, and that. Because otherwise, it's like having holidays when you are not working. No sense. You enjoy the holidays because it gives you a break on your working your routine. If you don't work, the idea of holiday have no sense. So that's why if you want to stop the momentum, okay, but then be very strict with yourself and say, okay, but after this 24, 48 hours, 72 hours, doesn't matter. The time that you decided, you go back to this routine that you planned and you do it. Like that, you will be able to enjoy this time that you offer to yourself, this crap time that you offer to yourself, because they have a meaning due to the fact that you're going to do something else after that. Otherwise, it's like a never-ending story.
that is a really, really good example that you gave. And the point that you made is the idea of a holiday makes no sense if you haven't been working. Oh my gosh, that is so true. That is so true. And if you are going to take a break, do it in a planned way, in a thoughtful way. Don't just give in to the urge of the moment, because then you will break your momentum.
It come back to the beat. If
Yeah,
you do it on the urge of the moment, it's
yeah,
because you will have an emotion effect, an attitude effect, some thought which will impact your decision, and
yeah,
so will create a different outcome
yes.
once
Oh
again.
my gosh. Okay. So we are running out of time, but the bit idea is so important. Can you just repeat for us once more what the different elements of the bit are?
So the bit, it so you have an equation,
Yeah.
fact, situation plus reaction equal outcome.
Yes.
Your reaction depend on 4 elements. The bit, belief,
Belief,
emotion,
emotion,
attitude, and
attitude,
thought. Your
and thought.
belief, your emotion, your attitude, and your thought, your bit,
Hmm.
generate your reaction
Yes.
to a specific situation. And
Hmm.
this reaction will generate the outcome of the situation.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I know we have like lots more amazing, really interesting things to talk about. And we have run out of time for
That's
today.
okay.
So we will, I hope, bring you back another day and
I
we
will be
can
pleased too.
continue the conversation. Thank you
Thank you very much.
so much. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you very much, Samia. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode. Hope you're getting value out of it. For your information, this episode has been sponsored by the Happiness 101 program. Are you a change maker, coach, trainer, or healer? Are chains of fear holding you back from making the impact and income you desire? Using a unique combination of positive psychology and the spiritual wisdom of our most effective change makers, the Happiness 101 program helps you break through your limiting beliefs and manifest the abundance and success you desire with fun and ease. Interested? Book a free Happiness 101 exploration call with me, your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Just use my online calendar link in the show notes.